everybody, I'm Maya and this is Strings Unplugged. I'm originally from Philadelphia. I first started playing the violin when I was 5 because my dad is also a violinist. He was my first and biggest inspiration. So when I started, I originally did some classical music, and then I got really into fiddle music in kind of my tweens and early teens, about the same time that my dad was getting into it. I think my favorite thing about the string department is the sense of community. Ever since I first got here, I noticed that there seemed to be like no competition or bad energy or anything between people here. It was just this tight-knit community of players that were all super incredible and super supportive of one another. Before I came to Berklee, I didn't really play jazz at all, even though I was really curious about improvising. People tended to be a little wary of that in the classical world, and they didn't really encourage me to get into it as much. But when I started here, even though I knew almost nothing, everyone was super supportive of me just improvising and figuring it out. And I don't think I could have done that anywhere else. I would say putting my different musical influences together into something cohesive that makes sense was a challenge. Ever since I came here, I knew I wanted to keep doing fiddle music and folk music and keep improvising, keep doing jazz. But for me, those two worlds were extremely separate, where let's say I had one community that I'd play with and they didn't really understand the other. But the longer I've been here, I think the more I've figured out how to teach people who don't necessarily know a lot about fiddle music and how to kind of bring them into that space. I understand why people think of the violin as a very classical instrument, just because there's so much history surrounding the violin in that style, and that's how it tends to be represented in pop culture and media. There's like a lot of people that come to mind. For example, Nora Germain is this great jazz violinist. She has a lot of swing, and she's known for collaborating with more pop artists as well. So I think that's someone to look to. I would say there's this great jazz violinist and fiddler based in California named Jenny Scheinman, who I think is really fascinating. She also grew up playing old-time Appalachian music like me. And now when I listen to her playing, even if she's doing it in a more like improvising context with the rhythm section, I hear those fiddle influences. I'm like, that's just like me. I've studied with Sarah Caswell for the past 3 years. She is a phenomenal bebop violinist and just phenomenal all-around person. I think her phrasing and just the way she thinks about music in general is super inspiring. There's a few that come to mind. Recently, I had my jazz composition senior recital, which was last semester. And for that one, I put together a program of entirely original music with all my friends. So for that one, you know, being able to play with my community and really show people what I had worked on for the past, you know, couple of years was a super rewarding experience. I would say don't be afraid of trying things that are completely new. For example, I have friends who came up with a more classical conservatory trained background. When they came to Berklee, they encountered the roots department here and over time really absorbed fiddle music and became fantastic fiddlers. So I would say the same thing could happen to anyone here. Just keep an open mind. I have an EP coming out in May. Super exciting. It's a mix of kind of traditional fiddle music and some of my original tunes, and I think you guys will really like it. I also have my senior recital coming up on April 17th. It's going to be entirely original music, and it's structured around a story, so it's a super fun and crazy and exciting project. My Instagram is Maya Claire Music, if you want to follow me on there. I also have a Substack if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, the same exact handle.
The hair on the back of her neck stood straight up. She wished she could bare her teeth. No one would steal her coat, ever again. And if the fox woman were to die trying to take it back, it would be better than living the rest of her days as a tool of the king.